Oh, yeah. Here we go. I heard a rumor that Lane Kiffin is going to be a Razorback. It's going to happen. Come on. Come off it. Are you guys? Come on. Really? Mr. Bloodline, you know better. Not saying that it's not going to happen, though. I'm not going to say that. I'm not. This conversation is always. We were just here 2 years ago. We were just here, and we're here again. Sean Crane, we're gonna get someone that we're not even considering. It always happens. Chad Morris. Nobody in the beginning of that coaching search thought it would be Chad Morris. Nobody in the very beginning. So that's exactly right. I couldn't agree more. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Well, we know because, my God, I talked to you guys on Friday, Saturday twice, and then on Sunday. So we're all caught up. I think you guys had a pretty good weekend. A lot of you wanted Chad Morris gone immediately following, and that's what you got after that awful debacle of Western Kentucky. How's everybody doing, though, for real? Your Monday started. Mine was crazy. My ice up here in Northwest Arkansas in Springdale, Fayetteville area, we got some snow and some sleet. And literally within, I think, about 3 hours, my car had completely iced over because I went to lunch at like 11, I think, 11:30. I went back out to leave, and my car was completely covered in ice. At least the windshield was. It was crazy. And then I think tomorrow it's probably going to be, 85 degrees, sunny, partly cloudy, actually. I don't know. I'm kidding. I don't know what it's redonkulous. Okay. I know that's what everybody wants to talk about. The press conference today is also something we're going to mention or we're going to talk about and all that wonderful stuff. What is the weather? Oh, my God. Well, okay. It's going to be sunny, but it's still going to be cold as hell. 33 degrees tomorrow up here. Oh, yeah, we got to get the tweets out, don't we? So, thank you guys so much for stopping by. You know the saying, the intro. Like, comment, share the content, share it. Make sure you tag me so I can thank you. And feel free to check out all the links down below. I got some some tips in the old tip jar. Those links again, they're provided for you down below in the PayPal. There's a PayPal link and there's also a Patreon. If you want to join up on the Patreon. So all that wonderful stuff. The real question, the question that everybody wants to hear. So I actually didn't get a chance to finish the interview. I got about 30, 20, 25 minutes. So I listened to Hunter Yurchak, most of what he had to say, and then what Barry Lunney had to say. Barry Lunney, first off, making it very clear, Cheyenne C.J. O'Grady will not be returning. I know a lot of fans were wanting to hear the opposite. I was one of them. And unfortunately, they're going to have to rely on somebody else at the tight end position to step up. They got a bye week. They get to prepare a little extra for LSU. They're not going to name a quarterback. Barry Lunney Jr. killed this interview, guys. I don't know like what I saw, and then I saw some more clips from later on in the interview, the parts that I missed. He killed it. I mean, he slayed it. He did a great job. I know there's people out there. They might be the minority out there, but they want him to have a legitimate shot. And look, his resume building starts now. Thank you, Timothy, for sharing. I got the notification. Thank you, buddy. Thanks, buddy. You're my guy. What was I saying? Yeah, no, he's doing a great job. Barry Lunney Jr. His resume, it already speaks for itself in terms of what he did with the tight ends, right? I mean, it's been incredible. He's turned Arkansas into a NFL tight end factory, and it already had some names before he got here. Like you already had the DJ Williamses and the Grags and so on and so forth. But he did even more. He really. You could argue that the tight end spot has been the position that has excelled the most since Brett Bielema and what little of the Chad Morris era we got. Thank God it wasn't anymore. So he's going to get his shot. It makes sense, right? He's a former quarterback here. His dad, who's a legend at Fort Smith Southside as a head coach, and then eventually to Bentonville. So he's going to have some good advice I'm sure he'll get from his dad. He mentioned that in his interview today. He went through a process himself where they had an interim head coach early on. I forgot about that, honestly. I forgot that happened when he was like a freshman. I think it was his freshman year or sophomore year. He's been through it. He's been through the ringer when he was an athlete here, when he played here. And then you combine that with the fact that he's been here longer than anybody else on the staff, I believe. I feel like I'm missing out on something. No, he's the longest. It makes the most sense. So if I'm going to say this, realistically, no, I don't think he has a shot. But will he be given a chance? I mean, Hunter Yurachek didn't throw that out the window today in the presser. Look, again, his evaluation begins now. His resume building begins now. Gomer Pyle, LSU. Yeah, I saw that comment. That was pretty entertaining. But yeah, he eliminated Cheyenne O'Grady. He's not going to name a quarterback. He also said they're not going to make any significant changes to the offense. Someone had maybe it was Bob Holt. Someone had asked if they were going to change their offensive philosophy or something. I didn't really hear. I had my earbuds in and I couldn't really hear because there was a lot going on around me. But someone had asked something about the offensive philosophy or what they've built so far on offense and if there were going to be any changes, and there's not. Which is, no duh. I have a feeling Barry Lunney's going to be hands-on, but he's only going to be I think he's going to let, he's going to let Craddock and Chavis probably do their jobs, I guess. I don't know. I don't know how he's going to approach this, but of the given names, of the people that I think that are on this staff that are the most qualified, you could argue Chavis, right, because of his time as a defensive coordinator and how respected he is amongst his peers in the SEC, his experience in the SEC. So it wouldn't have surprised me had it been Chavis, but I think they got it right with Barry Lunney. Now, having said that, my expectations, the spread now against LSU, whatever it was going to be, it probably goes up even more because now you've lost the head coach. Regardless of what we believe as fans or people in the media, players react a certain way to their head coach, right? And now you've got the ultimate morale sinker in your head coach. The guy that either recruited you or the guy that's been coaching him for 2 years is gone. He's out of the picture. You remember the Mizzou bowl game when Darren McFadden's last year here, his junior year, him and Felix, and they didn't have Houston out on the sidelines. That team looked flat as all get out, and that's understandable. He actually was a player's coach. He actually resonated with his players. He actually reached his players. I don't know that Chad ever did that. So, but there's going to be an effect there, I think. I don't know. Look. Crazier. This is my philosophy when it comes to college football and trying to make any kind of predictions in this realm, in this current environment. Crazier things have happened in college football. The question becomes if he puts up a game against LSU. You got a bye week to prepare. I mean, again, anything can happen. You put up a game against LSU and you beat Mizzou. Does that, do you feel like then he's legitimized as a coaching candidate? And I would say probably, yeah. That's more effort than you got out of 2 years out of Chad Morris. And look at the millions of dollars you threw at him. And yet in 2 games, assuming that were to happen, in 2 games you had that kind of performance out of Barry Lunney. So anything could happen. Resurrect Frank Broyles. Thanks for the donation, Mr. Furio 56. Thank you. Fire Chavis in all caps. Defensive-minded coach who also wants to move the ball on offense. So you guys might be talking about coaches. So I'm gonna kind of pick and choose what I read here in chat because you guys are already on your. Everybody's talking about their own who they want to be head coach and responding to one another, and I'm kind of out of the loop because it's really hard to keep up with chat and also stay focused. Truck MD, Truck, how you doing, buddy? Hope all is well. I don't feel like LSU will be a win, but I do feel we have a way better chance at beating Mizzou if the players' morale gets better. It's all about buying in under Barry Lunney Jr. right now. It's all about if these players buy into what he's doing the next with the amount of games they have left and the amount of time they have left. If they buy in, if they support – and look, from what I understand, these players really respect Barry Lunney. Now, I'm not comparing Barry Lunney to this certain individual, but remember, we heard the same thing when Bobby Petrino was fired the next year about how well respected John L. Smith was, how the players loved him, how they bought in. I'm not comparing. Please don't think that I'm comparing Barry Lunney. I'm just saying we've been in this situation before, only that was a whole year. So don't get caught up in the moment. I think a lot of people are doing that, especially on Twitter. There's even members of the media that are getting caught up in how well he did in this interview. And there's nothing wrong with saying he did well, but you can kind of tell some of the fans have really bought into it and believe that he is an actual legitimate coaching candidate, and I just don't think that he is. We back on our BS again. Hey, Bubba, finally caught one. Tommy Lewis, how you doing, sir? Celtics for life. Just gonna say it. I would love to see Mike Norvell. Should have hired him or should have had him before Morris. Time to fix that mistake. Y'all think we'll have a name before the end of the season? Derek, I don't. I don't. And that was the other thing that was asked of Hunter Yurchak, if he had a preference as far as a head coach or an offensive coordinator or a coordinator. And he said it didn't matter. All of the above. And that's the response. Look, I think Hunter Yurchak is getting completely overlooked in this presser. I think he killed it too, and I think he had he did the best he could with what he could say. They kept looking at compliance. They kept looking at their compliance guy. There's just things they couldn't say. Let's see. Hey Ty, so how much can we realistically lean on Yurchak on this hire? We have to get this one right. Ben Youngblood says. Ben, here's the thing. We know that his hires have worked as far as creating spark. The hype, right? We know that's worked in terms of the preseason stuff, the off-season hype. And most notable being Eric Musselman. We saw a performance against Rice that was incredible. And Rice, who apparently got a legitimate win, so maybe that wasn't, maybe I should put more faith in what they can do year one under Eric Musselman. But it looks like he, might be further ahead than where I first thought, talking about Eric Musselman. They've got North Texas tomorrow, 7 p.m. at Bud Walton. I don't know if that one's televised. Actually, I was going to look that up, and I forgot. My guess is it's probably SEC Network Plus again, but whatever. I'm going to listen to the Madman with, you know who I'm talking about, with Chuck Barrett and the Madman. I just call him the Madman. But I'm gonna listen to those guys. But if it's on TV, I'm going to watch it because I'm ready to watch. There's a difference in listening and watching. It's really hard. It's really hard when you have to just watch little 2-minute clips or 30-second clips, and then you just have to go on like what people, what they're saying is the people who are at the game. I hate that. Like I want to see the freaking game. So yeah, that hire looks like it's trending in it's trending in the right direction. I don't know if Hunter Yurchak can get this right. He did some things. At Houston. He did some things at his previous job that have at least from the local media that I listen to, and the same ones you guys have probably heard. They're very confident that he's going to get this right. Now, it's also, look, we're all on a different level as far as what the next head coach has to be able to do, right? What do you consider a home run hire, and what is that ceiling to you? To me as a fan, I just want to be competitive again. That's all I want. I'm not asking to beat Alabama or Auburn. I know it's going to take baby steps. I just want what we were promised out of Chad Morris in the year and a half that we got. We didn't see any of that. There was no progression. There was no consistency. And then they started regressing, like Hunter Yurchak said today in the presser. They were going backwards. Which I found interesting that he said the last couple of weeks. I'm like, no. They've been going downhill for a while. He did admit, I think they had asked Hunter, at what point did you start to see things? And he said it was after the second half in the Kentucky game. And I'm like, but did you watch Hunter, did you watch the San Jose State game? What? You mean the non-Power 5, the horrific non-Power 5 team that beat Arkansas? That didn't give you any cause for concern or pause for concern? It sure as hell did me. Hell, the Portland State game concerned the hell out of me. So, I don't know. And the short answer to your question is I have faith that he can at least get the hire right. Again, it depends on what your circumstances are, what you believe. There's some people who just want a guy who's going to make us, they want the next Bobby Petrino type hire. Some believe that you should actually rehire Bobby Petrino or Houston Nutt. I'm going to tell you right now, if that happens, it's not going to be good for the program. I don't think that would be wise. You'd be the laughing stock even more so than you are now of the SEC and of national sports media. You're going to be laughed at for rehiring Bobby Petrino or Houston Nutt. Those are facts. All right. The Houston Nutt hire is at least somewhat understandable because the guy has a history here. He was successful here in even in the most aggressive terms, he was successful here because he got them to the SEC championship, made them competitive in the conference. In fact, there were years you could argue they were top 2, top 3 in the SEC. So at least there's kind of an argument there. With Petrino, it was like the guy just crashed and burned and the venom's out of the snake. He got busted on the bike. He's never been the same, and he's trending in the wrong direction. And really, Houston Nutt did as well. And when you look at how he ended at Arkansas with the kind of talent that he had, he won 8 games with the kind of talent with Darren McFadden and that whole crew. Had a lot of NFL talent on both sides of the ball, and he still couldn't do any better than what they got that year. What was it? I'm brain farting. 07. So it's just not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Throw that out the window. Now, if we're going to talk about the names that are out there that most people believe are floater kind of names, like names that shouldn't happen but could very well happen, I'm going to tell you guys. And I said this on the Hawk Talk podcast. That's a good one. You guys should go watch it. Links down below. In this last Hawk Talk podcast, there is a name out there that I think if the board of trustees are involved, if they are heavily involved, I could absolutely see them making yet another run at, and that's Gus Malzahn. I could absolutely see it. I don't think some people just don't understand how bad. I don't know if it's 1 or 2 board members that really, really, really want Gus here. I'm not going to weigh in on that. I'm not there. I don't want to touch it with a 10-foot pole. Although I kind of did when I talked about it. Let me see. We had someone donate. Mr. T-Dub, as usual. What's up, Timothy? Thanks, man. Let's see. No. And on Bear Lunney Jr. I like Bear Lunney Jr., but hire with head, not heart. Good. I agree with that. It's business, not personal. Let's get a Power 5 guy who is proven, not an up-and-comer, Leach, Campbell, or Rule. I like that. We're on the same level. I couldn't agree more. Let's see. Gavin Pratt, we have to wait and see a couple of games with Muscle. Yeah, and I agree. I completely agree. To me, it's going to be on the road against Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech's not going to be that great this year, I don't think. They weren't that great last year. Should have beaten them last year. But I'm really curious in a hostile environment, in a Power 5 hostile environment. I'm really curious to see how they respond there. So I couldn't agree more, Gavin. But Mr. T-Dub, good comment. Thank you for the donation. I really do appreciate it. We're going to have to let this coaching search play out. Houston Nutt, D-Mac is a running back coach, and DJ Williams is tight end coach. I think whoever the next coach is needs to try their best to keep Bear Lunney around. I'm going to say it, 3 different coaches for Bear Lunney. I think it should happen. The guy just churns out NFL talent he develops. He develops talent. Don't get me wrong. It's nice that you had the Henrys to rely on, but there's some things that he's done there with the group of tight ends. It's incredible. We can't rush the hire, says Sean Norris, but we have to have a guy. We have to have a guy in who can take advantage of the early signing period. And there's the thing. You have this head start, right? You have this head start on the coaching search alongside Florida State and I think Rutgers are the other 2 teams. I swear I thought there's a team on the West Coast. Maybe I'm just crazy, but you've got a head start. Rutgers are not going to compete with Arkansas for a head coach. They're just not. I don't care that they beat Arkansas 2 years in a row. That still drives me insane. That program had no business beating Arkansas, even during those turbulent times. Neither did Louisiana Monroe. Neither did San Jose State. The list goes on and on. But you've got a head start. It's right now. The competition is between Arkansas and Florida State. Hunter Yurchek is going to be phoning people. He's going to be calling people up. He said, and I thought this was really interesting. Remember, I said I think it was Friday or maybe Saturday. reaction video, I said that I felt like the news had already been spread. Or maybe it was the Hog Talk pod. Like I always say, I forget where I say things. That could be a little dangerous. But I thought that this staff had already been told that you're done. And maybe there's a level of truth to that. Maybe that did happen. Maybe Hunter called Chad Morris in. Remember, Hunter Yurachek showed up at a post game. Like, who was that? Was it Auburn? Or I think it was Auburn or somebody. But he showed up and he was there, and that the media responded really oddly to that. They thought that was weird. And then he showed up to another one. So I still believe that he said something to Chad, and if you've noticed, he just went down. And some guys don't respond well to that kind of leadership from Hunter, and they got worse and worse. I wonder if that happened, but I don't think he ever told Chad Morris that, you know what, you're fired. I don't think that ever happened. That was fascinating to me. I kind of had wondered that, and I was hoping the media would ask him, and they did, and that was the response we got. He said that, he informed Chad Morris. I think he had said something after the game. Now, I missed that portion of the presser, but I believe he had fired Chad Morris that night. Maybe someone correct me if I'm wrong on that. Please, check me on that. I can't remember what he said, but then he called Barry Lunney Jr. up Sunday morning and informed Barry Lunney that he got the job and everything. So you have to throw that theory that I have out the window. But I still wondered to some capacity what he said earlier on in the year. If maybe he said something, Chad Morris reacted poorly, and here we are. So on and so forth. Let me get caught up on chat. Let's see. Jeremy V, how's it going, Jeremy? Hope all's well. I'd like to see Norville or Brady, but right now our players and fans got to get out of these dark times. Amen to that. Derek Billingsley, Ricky M, that would be a fire combo. Oh, you're talking about the hiring Houston Nutt and Chad Moore. Not going to happen, guys. Just because you're a great player, also, don't get it in your head that would make a great assistant. Okay, it's not how that always works out. Being a coach and being a player, two different worlds. Let's see. Chiefkin on the dream. If Lunney could coach these guys up or coach these guys up to beat or compete with LSU and beat Mizzou, his name deserves to be in the hat. And I agree with that. I just don't see that happening. It's very – I shouldn't say it's rare because we have in some instances seen like in bowl games. That's where it's the most common, where you have an interim head coach because the other head coach either got terminated or took another job and left before the bowl game. That has happened to Arkansas. We already mentioned that. But it's rare in a season where the interim head coach is able to kind of get things turned around. Not saying it's impossible. Not saying it's not going to happen. I just don't think that it happens. But if it does, oh my gosh, let's see. Yeah, and I agree. If that happens, he absolutely should be in the running. Matt Campbell, home run hire. I am on board with Matt Campbell. I'm on board. I'm absolutely on board with Campbell, 100%. I was, as of like just a little more than 24 hours ago, I was not. I said, when you looked at his record at Iowa State, my problem was that it didn't really blow you away. The best he's done, I think, was 8-5, 8-5. But then you look at the guy's been the NFL wants him bad. I think he's been offered, someone had quoted me, 6 different jobs. I know he turned down the New York Jets interview. He's been a 3-time coach of the year in his conferences, twice in the Big 12. He has upsets, ranked wins. The guy has really done it all. He's spoken of very highly from people in the media, not just here but everywhere. Iowa State has a huge extension on him, and I don't know when. I think that was actually given to him either last year or the year before last. Now, if he got a new extension, I tried Googling that today and I couldn't find anything. But he's got a pretty hefty buyout, I'm told. But Campbell, to me, would be a home run hire, especially considering where we've been. Oh, we got another dono. Mr. T-Dub again. Y'all hit a $5 donation. It's cheaper than a subscription, and I enjoy this more than hog sites I am subscribed to. Let's help Ty hit the big time. Thank you again, man. T-Dub, you're amazing. I appreciate that. I also appreciate you guys just for coming through. Let's see. Let's read a little bit more chat. Then I want to show you guys something here in a second. I want to show you a clip what Barry Lunney Jr. had to say. Let's see. Sean Crane says, number 1, Matt Campbell. Number 2, and Matt Rule is not someone you should overlook, guys. Matt Rule over at Baylor. He's killing it. Mike Leach at 3, Mike Norville at 4. That's not a bad list. It's not a bad list. Sean Norris, let's see, but what are the odds Campbell would take this job in this state? So, who said that? Well, it disappeared. Where'd it go? Did YouTube take your comment down? Let's see. I think YouTube took your comment. I wanted to go back and read it again. Damn you, YouTube. Well, anyways, yes, apparently he does want to coach in the SEC. My thing is, though, with Campbell, if he's turning down the NFL, what are the odds that he wants to take a job at Arkansas that right now looks not so great? Let's see. Kyle with the dono. Thank you, man. You do a good job on what you do on your channel. Thank you, Kyle. Appreciate that with the $1.99 dono. You're the man. Let's see. When I hear people say, oh, here we go, and I agree with this. When I hear people say who would come here, they obviously don't know college football. This is a dream place for most guys. So I don't know about it being a dream place for most guys. I don't know. It just depends on what group of guys you're talking about. You do have to look at Forbes released back in September of this year of the top 25 most valuable programs. Arkansas has been consistently, there are 2 or 3 years, if I remember right, under John L., where Arkansas was top 8 in total value. And they have their chart and what they consider value. It's ticket sales, it's TV, and obviously it's donations, things like that. Arkansas has been 8th. They have dropped, but they're still a top 20 program in terms of total value, and that's from Forbes.com. You have the money. You have the fans, although right now some fans are kind of making us look a little silly, tweeting at coaches and players. And yes, you've got your bad fans, but guys, that's everywhere. I'm going to tell you right now, go look at Bama's timeline. Go look at their Twitter feed after losing to LSU. Who called that? Yeah, I called that. But when you factor some of those things in, the facilities, the upgrades, the facility upgrades, the renovations and so on and so forth to the stadium and everything. Again, the money and the fact that you're essentially the governor of Arkansas when you take this job. Now, there's pressure with that, obviously. You look at Brett Bielema, you look at Chad Morris, you wonder if that played a factor into their demise, into their ultimate demise. But my OBS is, there we go. There are some positives here. The state, the biggest negative, the only negative, and that has more to do with geography than anything else. It's just the recruiting in the state is atrocious. It's just bad. It's really bad especially when you compare it to the rest of the Southeast. When you go east of the Mississippi, outside of Louisiana, when you go east of the Mississippi for those schools in the Southeastern Conference, that's the mecca of recruiting, and it's hard for Arkansas to have to fly over there and take recruits. Bielema did it. Alex Collins, Denver Kirkland, so on and so forth. But to do that steadily is a challenge. And Bielema had a direct pipeline to Florida, and even he struggled getting guys out. He whiffed on so many guys. That's why we focus so much on East Texas, right? That's why Chad Morris, that was such a bonus. That was a huge bonus for Chad Morris, the East Texas connections, which did work out, right? So, but that's the negative. That's the biggest negative. College football is geography wars. We know that. It's geography and money wars. Just like the NFL, it's financial wars and Major League Baseball, and it's all about how good your management is and how good the overall staff is from top to bottom and who you can attract and so on and so forth, and what market you're in, right? Like that's what usually tends to dictate the professional sports. But the same thing can be said where money's the bloodline there, and I would argue front office and GM and all that. In college football, it's all about your pipelines, your where you can recruit. That's the lifeline of your system, and that is the biggest negative that hits Arkansas hard. You don't produce the kind of talent you used to. Little Rock has dropped in terms of the high school talent they put out a little bit, not a lot, but well. It depends on what era we're talking about, but it's really, it's Pulaski County and kind of the surrounding counties a little bit, and then Washington County. And Washington County, it's growing, but it's still not, it's nothing compared to what they have going on down in Florida and Georgia, the Virginias, and so on and so forth. That's the downside, and that's what has hurt Arkansas. Barry Switzer made that same argument on Bo Mattingly Shaw. I'll never forget that. It really really kind of opened your eyes up a little bit. He straight up said the reason why he would never have coached here was because of that very problem. Instead, he went to Norman, where they're just a little while north of one of the recruiting meccas. So, dude, we're blanking Division I, Power 5 SEC school over $3 million is guaranteed. It's a dream job, bro. Quit being naive. Lucas, I think you're the one being naive if you believe that it's a dream job to most coaches. Conference helps. If you are from here, if you played here, then yeah, it's a dream job. But Barry Switzer, former Razorback, straight up, I mean, he was right. It's the guy has infinite connections here, and he still turned the job down. And he still went to Oklahoma. And he straight up said recruiting was a big part of it. And that was then. Now I think it's probably about the same, maybe even, I'm not going to say worse, but it's not what the rest of the SEC offers. You're being naive if you think that doesn't play a major factor. You're being very naive, Lucas. Sorry. Josh Williams with the dono. Can't wait for you guys to get the football media pass. Rooting for you and the whole media team on the Pig Trail Network. Great stuff. Keep it up. Thank you. I appreciate that, Josh. Wouldn't surprise me if Jason Garrett's next coach, Urban Meyer. I think we missed. Did we miss another donation? Tyler Edmonson. Yeah, keeping the super chats going. Great stuff. There you go. Didn't Matt Campbell beat us when he was at Toledo? He sure did. And I was wrong on Twitter. I swear to God. For some reason, I had it in my head that happened in Fayetteville. It was Little Rock. I was corrected on Twitter, as you would expect. Chandler decommitted. All right, we're going to talk about the decommitments really quick. I didn't see if Chandler decommitted. That must have just happened. I just had that list up. So far, this is the aftermath of what happens when you fire a coach. This is the aftermath, and it's predicted. This is the natural progression of leaving one coach and leaving him behind and moving on. You lost Savion Williams on the 10th. He decommitted, 6'4", 3-star receiver. This guy, a lot of TQ Jackson comparisons, someone who could really compete year one. He decommitted out of Marshall, Texas. You had John Gentry decommitted. Mason Mangum decommitted. Mason Mangum is a little speedster. I was really looking forward to seeing what he could do on campus. If Chandler decommitted, I thought I had read that, but I haven't actually seen it pop up yet. Did he decommit? Let's see. Well, I'm still not seeing it. It's expected. Chandler Morris is expected, absolutely. And I checked his Twitter. I was actually looking at his Twitter, and I hadn't seen where he had said anything about decommitting. No. In fact, his last tweet was November 4th. Oh no, that was a retweet. Let's see. Let's go to his actual tweets. Yeah, I'm still not seeing it. So I don't know. You guys are. I've heard that twice today, and I'm not seeing it. Let's see. Ba-doop. Oh, thank you guys for sharing on Twitter. I really do appreciate that. Kelly Marie, Timothy, Mark Douglas, you guys representing on Twitter. I appreciate that. Oh, wow, more Bodonos. Wow, okay. Let's see. Mr. Firo again. Also, it's pronounced Fiera. My bad, dude. Look, the font is like tiny. It is really small, and I'm trying to squint. Ty, call Jerry. If only I had that kind of reach. Chandler's still committed. Yeah, I'm not seeing where he's decommitted. But I do fully expect it. We had him on. I talked about this the other night. We had him on the Hog Talk podcast. And pull up my stuff here. We had him on the Hog Talk, and he straight up said he's committed to the university. He's not committed to his dad. That is about to be put to the ultimate test. I'm sure he never expected this. He's a good kid. I'm going to say, I've said it before, he's a good kid. We wish him the best. I hope he sticks around, especially if they bring in another RPO kind of offensive play caller. I really want to see what he could do. KJ, obviously, and John Steven. Let's see. Leach will go to Florida State because of the tradition and the athletes he could get. Yeah, no, that's a good point. You good, Ty? That's what I do here. I butcher names, man. Especially when they're scrunched together. It's why when you guys write these paragraphs and you want me to read them, I'm like, oh, that's going to be hard. Let's see. Let's stay on topic here, trying to keep up with the chat. If he has and hasn't dropped a tweet like all kids do now. Yeah, that's what they all do, right? They got to let the world know. And it's always the notepad. It's always the iPad. Or it's always the iPhone, the iPad, whatever, the notepad. And it's always, I want to thank everybody. It's it's okay. They have to. It's good to be formal. I don't have a problem with it. Let's see. Michael Cox, considering he just signed an extension, I don't think we get PJ Fleck. Yeah, I don't think we get PJ Fleck either. He's killing it at Minnesota. He really is. The same thing with Rhodes. Look, they've got Oklahoma. Oh, my God, that's going to be a game. I think game day's there. Oklahoma and Baylor. Oklahoma should beat Baylor. They absolutely should beat Baylor. Baylor doesn't have the athletes. They don't have the players. They don't have the setup that Oklahoma has. But anything can happen. I've said it before. But if he beats Oklahoma, and then he's got Texas, I think, immediately following. If he goes unbeaten, can you imagine Baylor getting into the playoffs? It wasn't that Art Briles wasn't that long ago. Oh my God, more donos! Holy crap! Tommy Lewis, $25. Thanks, Tommy. I appreciate that. You guys, you're killing it. Get on the donation train, says Sean Crane. I really do appreciate that. That's incredible. I don't know if I updated you guys on that. I figured out how that monetization or how that works with the donations and being monetized. You have to run ads. Just YouTube. You're up to your shenanigans. All right, let me. I'm going to share something with you guys. See if I can pull it up. Okay, I'm going to have to mute my mic because I don't have a two-screen setup here. All right, I'm going to mute myself, but I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to show you something. Let's see here. All right, this is something I want you guys to check out. Well, of course it's not wanting to work. Of course. You got to be kidding me. Come on. I'll tell you what, I'm just gonna mute my mic and then I'm just gonna play it from here and you can watch it. Here we go. So that's what I wanted to show you. I don't know why it wouldn't let me pop in and out there, but that's kind of disturbing. But that was interesting. I like how he played that. I really do. More donations. Tommy with 25. Did I already read those, Sean Crane? Okay, I'm getting lost on Super Chat. That's incredible. Thank you guys again. Yo, Ty, how's that Reliable Cox Internet been treating you today? It's better because I can't show you, but we got this new fancy. We got one of these. My wife, we had to put it on the credit card, but you know what? By God, it's okay. It's like $80. It's been pretty awesome. It was the router. So one day it was Cox, the next day it was the router. Or the day before it was the router, and then the next day it was Cox, and the day after that was the router. But I tested it, and we've been working fine ever since. Let's see. Did it not work? Did you guys get no volume? I don't know what that was about. Let's try that again. Hang on. Let's try that again. I want you guys to hear what he says. Let's try that again. All right. Here we go.
You talk about knowing this program, knowing the history of this program. We've talked about a candidate pool. Could Barry Lunney Jr. be a candidate? Would you want to be the head coach at Arkansas?
Well, yes. This obviously.
You talk about knowing this program, knowing the history of this program. We've talked about a candidate pool. Could Barry Lunney Jr. be a candidate? Would you want to be the head coach at Arkansas?
Well, yes, Alyssa, obviously that's, that's a dream of mine, but my focus right now is to get these guys their best opportunity to play their best football game they played this year. Because we've got some black eyes, and it needs to stop. And that's my sole focus.
Okay, well, there you go. There, now that worked, I think. I suck at OBS. All right, so Barry was asked about it, and Barry had I like the way he responded. I like how he responded to that. Look, for those of you who think he should be a legitimate candidate, he's it starts now. We see all your dirty secrets. Yeah, you got Twitter up there. It's all you can see is just Twitter. ESPN. I was checking on my fantasy football team, getting my ass kicked this weekend. And also, by the way, he says something there where he goes, "This program has two black eyes." I had my headphones in. I was talking to someone, and I thought he said, "We've got two black guys." And my response, Barry, we've got black guys and we got white ones too. I think we got some guys that are a little bit of both. No, he said black eyes. And person I was talking to was like, "What?" And I took the headphones out. I go, I had to hear that again. I thought he said two black guys. That's my bad. All right, it was two black eyes. Of course, he's talking about what happened this year. About how bad the emotional damage it's done to these guys. I mean, your coach has been fired. You're not playing for a bowl game. You got guys quitting, decommits, all this stuff happening. You know it has an effect. It's wearing on these guys, and that's what he's referencing. So, and another friend of mine texted me, and he goes, I mentioned to him, I sent him a shot of of what Barry had said. I go, you got to really turn up the volume of what he says there, or turn the captions on. But again, I thought he killed the presser. I really do. I think he absolutely killed it. Barry Lunney Jr. is a racist, guys, just like Chad. Don't forget, Ty is too, apparently, because he wanted Mike Anderson fired. Good Lord with the donos, guys. Holy cow. Let's talk about Gary Patterson coming to Fayetteville. I think he would do good too. Hang on, I gotta scroll up. Chats. I think he. Let's see. I think he's a dark horse, and with Texas recruiting ties. My only problem with Patterson is he's so up and down. But he was a name when they were talking about Brett Bielema. I wanted Gary Patterson. That was the guy that was super high on my list. This is stripper money. This is my stripper money. Dollar bills. Let's see. DMAC wants to coach running backs. DJ Williams wants tight ends. I think, watch DJ Williams break down. Game film. Guy knows what he's talking about. He really does. If we get in a fight with a bear, someone help that damn bear, Nolan Richardson. We need that mentality in the football program. Celtics for life. You're killing it. You're killing it with that. Thank you. Laugh out loud. I had to hear it again. Also, says James. I'm telling you, I'm talking to somebody. I've got the earbud, and I thought he said that, and I go, wait, is he talking about two members on his staff? Like, why would you say that, Barry? Barry, finger wag. That's not cool. But again, two black eyes. Gary has always had a good defense. He has, and he has just been. He's not ever leaving TCU. That guy, they're going to bury him under the field there. Long shot, probably Kyle Whittingham of Utah, of the Utah Utes would be great. He's top 20 every year, almost it seems. Eric Jackson, what's up, Eric? Hope you're doing well, buddy. That is a long shot. I'm not saying it's impossible, but again, we know how this is going to go down. It's always someone you don't expect. It's just that's the case. It's always someone you don't expect. Guys, please share the content. Would really appreciate it. Let people know where you're at, what you're watching here with the Pig Trail Network / Pig Trail Podcast. Check out the links down below. You guys are already killing the donations. Let's see. I'm not going there. Barry can work with the right coordinators. Now there was someone that people keep bringing up that it's slowly unfolding in my mind to make a little bit of sense. And please don't come out here with the pitchforks, but Sam Pittman. Now I'm not for it. I'm not out here with my sign, right, and that says Pittman for head coach. But it's starting to when you really unload what he brings to the table. His connections, his offensive line, like the recruiting, his offensive lines, his again the connections, his understanding and knowing of the SEC. He's been around, and he's very, very, very well liked. Again, he's another one of those guys that's very well respected amongst other coaches. And there's been a few people on Twitter that are making that case that imagine my only fear is he would bring in Jim Chaney as an OC. That's my only fear, but I don't think that he would. But imagine if you brought in someone like that. One of the biggest complaints of this team for the last how long has been the offensive line. It's been line of scrimmage play, which is obviously that's his area of expertise. His recruiting ties, his ability to recruit anywhere in the country. The guy has multiple pipelines to multiple huge recruiting areas, and him being so well respected and liked, and then getting a head coaching gig at a SEC Power 5 school. I'm entertaining the idea in the back of my mind. I'm reading that book, I guess you could say. That's a book that I'm kind of reading. I'm not on board 100% with it, but it's starting to kind of make sense. Like, I could see an argument. That's what I'm entertaining, is just the argument of Sam Pittman. It's an interesting one. He supposedly loved it here. Now, I know every ex-coach who's looking to get out of the possibility of taking a head coach job. But I can remember being told this at the beginning of the year. And this was from a couple of different, very reliable people that I'm able to talk to, that I'm fortunate enough to be able to talk to. One of them is in the media. I'm not going to say who he is, but both of them have said to me he wants to come back to almost any capacity. That was before the head coach, or before Chad Morris was fired. Still has friends, has family here, just not far over the border, just west of here in Oklahoma. It kind of makes sense when you think about it. And then you think about past position coaches or coordinators, obviously, but position coaches that have gone on and have had success to some capacity. I'm not saying I'm for it, but it's starting to kind of make sense a little bit. Give me Jim Tressel. Oh, Lord. Grant Patrick. Joking, although he did beat us in the Sugar Bowl. Yeah, he did. Maybe not head coach, but Sam Pittman for OC, says Mr. Furio, right? Any NFL guys? I don't think so. Again, I don't know, but as of who I've seen, I trust Utah. Let's get Pittman. Says, I'm not making the case for Pittman. I'm saying that when you subscribe to that magazine, it's starting to make a little bit of sense. I'm not saying I think a lot of fans wouldn't that wouldn't be the hire that fans want. That wouldn't be the hire that everybody wants. Sam Pittman, it just wouldn't. And I think that's something Hunter Yurchek is going to balance. Greetings from Oklahoma, Arkansas State Line resident. What's up, Colt? Hope all is well, buddy. Phil Clinton, love that name. Would Les leave Kansas to Arkansas to get back in the SEC? I don't know. Maybe throw enough money at him, but I don't. Again, that's another one of those hires that would that electrify the fan base, and I just don't think that it would. And right now, the excitement for Arkansas football is at an all-time low. We talked about that yesterday. What are we at here? How long have we been going? We're coming up on 52 minutes. Okay. Inject Sam Pittman into my veins, says Grant Patrick. Josh Williams, like the video. Yeah, if you're asking people to like the video, absolutely, please like the video. I just hope Bama fans will piss Saban off enough to quit. We will be able to afford him. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Even if he somehow finds a way to lose to Auburn, they're not going to run him off. Although Alabama fans are insane. Still nothing. They've got nothing on A&M. A&M fans, however. Blake Anderson, I've heard that name thrown around quite a bit. We need more yards and not Les Miles. No, he loves Jeff Long. There is a relationship between Jeff Long and Les Miles. Hey, Ty, my Dallas Mavericks and Luka are coming to Boston to spank the Celtics tonight. Yeah. I'm not feeling so good about the Celtics, and now they're getting banged up. Michael Cox, I really like the idea. Mike Irwin just said he would consider Arkansas because his family loves Northwestern. If you're talking about Pittman, then again, it's at first when I read that on Twitter, I thought, oh God, no, come on. I mean, he left, and kind of there was some tiff there between him and Bielema, and I don't know that he would even want the job. But then I remembered what I had been told earlier in the year, and then you start reading what people are saying, and then you start thinking about it in your head. It's like, wow, actually, Hugh Freeze says Ruben Taylor. No, hard pass. I'm sorry. The other thing I wanted to talk about really quick. Basketball recruiting. Did we talk about Moses Moody committing? I can't remember if we did or not. But Moses Moody did commit. I think I did. I think I mentioned it. But your boy called it. I called it. Been calling that for weeks. Up until about a month ago, all signs pointed to probably not going to happen. He might make their top 5 or top 3, but probably not going to commit. Musselman just absolutely he's doing it, man. He's getting it done. And like I told everybody, this is where you can start investing energy into. Investing your Razorback fandom energy. You could start, I think, investing it into Razorback basketball again. I know it's been a while, but they're heading in the right direction. Moses Moody commits. It's a big time. I feel like I mentioned that here. I don't know. If we beat LSU, Ty will shave his entire face. You know what? Yeah. I'll take that bet. I'll take that. I'll do one better. If they can keep it within 14, I will shave my beard right here live. That's it. Keep it within 14. Making it a ball game, probably covering spread. Oh, it's a baby face, Grant. Absolutely. It's a baby face. Absolutely. I hate being shaved. I don't like having a shaved face. I'm giving up a lot here. I also don't see it happening. I will shave my beard and this mustache if we keep it within 14 against LSU. I need some thumbs up in chat. If that's what you guys want me to do, I'll do it. If you guys are listening on the Pig Trail podcast, you can't see it right now, but there's some people that want me to shave my face if we can beat LSU, and I'm doing one better. I'm going to say keep it within 14. I will shave my face right here live on the post-game show. If we beat LSU, I will shave Ty's face. Let's go, Barry. We need to see Ty shave his face. Let's shave the baby face. Oh, snap. Yeah, it'll happen. I'll do it. I am a completely different looking person with a shaved face. You guys remember Duck Dynasty? Okay, I don't have that level, that epicness of a beard, but you see how much different the Robertsons look without their beards. That's the kind of transformation that will take place. I'll do it. Keep it within 14. I will shave it. Maybe I'll have my wife do it. I was hoping she'd come in here. Maybe I'll have my wife shave my face on live stream. Nothing. She must be. She probably shook her head and walked off. She doesn't. She wouldn't like the idea. Ty, I'll shave my face too. Do you have a beard? I didn't know you had a beard. Pictures I've seen, you look shaved. SMU coach would be a perfect head coach. I'm just kidding, but I would love to see I would love to see DC, but damn, this defense. Yeah, that's the other thing, too, about Pittman. Very well connected. Who knows, maybe we could bring in a big-time defensive coordinator, someone who could actually get the job done. Now it's like, who cares about how famous they are, how knowledgeable they are of the SEC? Like, just get someone in here. And I wish they'd bring back Paul Rhodes. That guy could coach secondary. Bring back Paul Rhodes. I think him and Rhodes are good friends. Another name, Brett Venables. People have not been talking enough about him. Venables has done amazing at Clemson as the DC. You look at the difference on defense since he took over. I'm telling you, he's another guy very well respected. Has strong recruiting. I almost said recruiting ties. Not far from here. Pittman bus, says Anthony. All aboard the Pittman bus. We started it. If we beat LSU, I'll pants your check. Ooh. Do you think Gus is possible, Ashton? God, I hate this question. If the Board of Trustees are involved, yes. Sorry, not sorry. Okay? Don't shoot the messenger. But having said that, Jacob and myself, we try to talk to as many people as we can, right? It sounds like the board, they were out of his way with the Eric Musselman hire after firing a regular season proven coach in Mike Anderson. They got out of his way with every hire so far. All the evidence suggests, and the people have kind of talked to, just kind of in just running by some people, running it by and talking to him. It sounds like they're going to let him do his job. If Hunter Yurachek is left alone, I don't think Gus Malzahn is an option. If a lot of things have to happen. For those of you who want Gus Malzahn, a lot of things have to happen. He's going to have to lose some games and finish with another disappointing record, right? Like I think they could at worst, I think, finish 9-3. That's their realistic. And I don't know. Auburn is just stuck between a rock and a hard place if that happens. Now, obviously, if they find a way to beat Bama, and by the way, LSU really exploited Alabama, and Alabama's kind of been – that was their first real test, and they failed. And a lot of mistakes. I watched half that game. A lot of mistakes. Of course, Tua still looked okay, but like LSU's just that good on offense. Burrow is incredible. He's Heisman. Give him the Heisman. But if they lose to Bama again, if they mess around and lose another game, there's absolutely a path. Like Zach likes to say on Ruskin and Zach, there's absolutely a path to where I could see that being a possibility. I'm not touching where I'm at with that. I'm not even going there. But I hate this conversation because there's not another, like that is the hot topic or the most divisive topic amongst Razorback fans is Gus Malzahn, because the people that want Gus really want Gus. They don't care that the guy has played Arkansas for a fool already. They don't care about all that. They want Gus, and apparently someone on the board does as well, a couple on the board. That's what we've been told. And then the other people on the other side absolutely hate Gus Malzahn. I know people that played for Gus Malzahn up here in Springdale don't like him. Now, there's obviously ex-players that love him, but it's just a love-hate relationship, or it's a love or hate relationship. You either love him or you hate him. I'm not going there. I'm just not touching it right now. I'm not going there on my feelings on that. Let's see. Okay. All right. We're going to move off Gus. One last thing on basketball recruiting. I expect Arkansas to get a commitment before the end of November. I feel like they're going to get another commitment with basketball. It is exactly who you think it is. After Moses Moody committed, for those of you not aware, that would be KK Robinson, big-time player. I like their odds there. I like their odds of getting him, and I believe he's going to commit. So I'm not going to say commit watch necessarily just yet. We're not there. To me, a commit watch is like every source I have, I hate that source, every source that I have, but everyone that I talk to starts telling me the same thing. When all of a sudden there's smoke and it just keeps piling, then I'll say, okay, we're on commit watch. We're not commit watch yet, but I do believe there's a chance, a very good chance he commits in the month of November. Is that before Thanksgiving, after? I don't know. But I do think that it'll happen. I think it'll happen really soon. Aranda is a guy I will be intrigued. Number 1, Matt Campbell. Rule 2, Norville 3, says Cedric Hurd. Get off the must bus. I never said I was on the must bus. I don't know if you're talking to me, Rusher. I never said that. Would you be fine with Gus? Oh, my God. I hope your last name isn't Williams. Would you be fine with Gus? Because I would. He would be my eyes twitching like crazy. Trying to squint here. Let's see. Would you be fine with Gus? Because I would. He would be a coach that has already proved he can win in this conference. Well, that's at Auburn. And if you ask Auburn fans, they'll tell you that he's underperformed. He's already come close to being fired from there. And the belief is if you can't get it done at Auburn, you're sure as hell not going to get it done at Arkansas, Ashton. That's the naysayer's side. I'm not going to tell you as to whether or not I'd be fine with it. I'm not going to go there. Peyton Hill's for running back coach. My source tells me his source knows nothing, says Sean S. Well, I have made some pretty good calls going back to Kelly Bryant. Just remember that. Called that before anybody here. I say 80% Gus is the man if Auburn goes 8-4. Yeah. Pit stop, says Mr. T-Dub. Pit stop. Ty is the talk of Gus. Good Lord. Making your eye twitch. It might be. It very well might be. That sucker was going. Ty, I don't want to talk about Gus. The chat. Gus question. It's inevitable. It just is. Anytime you talk about a coaching search, Gus is going to be the guy. It's what everyone wants to talk about. He's the hot button. He's the hot button topic for fans. All right. I think that's going to do it, Mr. Bloodline. Most players don't like good coaches. You guys, that must be another conversation. So I want to say thank you guys so much for stopping by. We got a little recruiting talk out of the way. So far, Chandler has not decommitted to my knowledge. I think it will happen. I think that it will. But we already talked about the guys that already decommitted. We kind of went over the coaching search a little bit. We talked about a little bit from the presser. I was finally able to get you guys to see what Barry Lunney Jr. had to say. I was going to get you some more of that footage, but it's hard to do all the. I don't have all my buttons set. I don't have them all set yet, so it's kind of hard. You got to click off one thing, and I don't have a second screen set up. It's easier to operate OBS when you got two screens. Let's see really quick. Early signing day says KK, Jalen, and more sign. Says Alex Henderson. Let's see. Ty, if you had to pick, good God Almighty, David, stop it. Stop with the Gus questions. You're gonna make both my eyes twitch. Oh, that's good. Let's see. We need someone who will drop kick anyone at a moment's notice. Let's see. Would you be fine with Les Miles, Ty? He would sure as hell make pressers interesting. And we've got natural grass he could eat here. I don't know. To me, that would be an underwhelming hire. It just wouldn't be anything great. Chuck Norris could be head coach. He can do anything. When Chuck Norris does push-ups, he's not pushing himself up. He's pushing the world down. Auburn still plays Georgia and Alabama, says Gavin Pratt. I think Urban would want too much money. I don't think Les would leave Kansas. I think he would leave Kansas to come back to the SEC. I do, and I think he would. He's already kind of been interested in the Arkansas job before, supposedly. All right, okay. Chat's still going. You guys are rocking it. I do appreciate it. We had a bunch of people in here tonight. We already talked about. We did talk about Moody. We did. You're right, Alex. You're right. We did. So again, I expect. I just telling you. I think by the end of November, KK commits. I'm trying to think of anything else that I missed. There was more. We do know, okay, tomorrow, we'll talk about that really quick. Arkansas taking on North Texas. Obviously, I'm going to favor Arkansas in that. That's going to be exciting. I don't know that we ever got that verified as to whether or not that was on SEC Network. Not Plus, just SEC Network. If it is, finally, might get to watch a damn game. But they're playing North Texas, 7 p.m. tomorrow at Bud Walton. After that, they've got Texas Southern. Or no, I'm sorry, Montana Saturday. So, see, I love that Tuesday, Saturday. And then which is what it normally is. But then I don't like that week that we had to wait, between Rice and North Texas. That's not cool from the 5th to the 12th. I hate that. So we're going to have the 16th, Montana. That's a 4 p.m. game. November 16th, November 19th, Texas Southern at 7 p.m. And then Friday, that following Friday, you've got South Dakota at Bud Walton. And then the game that I'm waiting for, the game that I'm most intrigued about, November 25th at Georgia Tech, 6 p.m. I'm fairly certain that'll be televised. That's the game I'm really curious about. I think that'll tell us a little bit. And then your next, then you've got November 30th to close the month out. Saturday, November 30th, you've got Northern Kentucky at Bud Walton at 4 p.m. So that's what you got going on. Let's see. Sorry, Sean, you're you guys, some of you. See, that's what I'm saying. You're so split down the middle. All right. Thank you, guys. Remember to like, subscribe, all that stuff if you haven't already. I do appreciate the donations. Holy cow, you guys rocked it. I want to say thank you to everyone on the Patreon, to all the Patreon supporters. Excuse me. Anyone who's donated to the PayPal and have downloaded and listened to the Hog Talk podcast. All of you who come through all the time. You guys rock. You rock. Those aren't hook 'em horns. It's you rock. I'm teaching my daughters, my 5-year-old, to do that, and she keeps trying to put her thumb out, and I'm like, no, that's blasphemy. You don't do it's this. That's how you do the upward down hook 'em horn. And I'll tell her like Texas sucks. I'll say Texas sucks, and then her mother gives me the look, and I'm like, damn, sleeping on the couch. All right, you guys be good. We will see you. I'll have the Pictorial podcast out on Thursday for Thirsty Thursdays. Stay tuned for that, and then we'll be back live on Friday. You guys have a good rest of your week. Go Hogs, and I'll see you then.